What is going on, guys? Prodigal Lion here today, and I have some pretty insane news for you guys regarding The Last of Us Part 2. This is actually really exciting. It regards like one of the locations where The Last of Us Part 2 could be taking place, and that location actually could be Seattle, Washington. This news comes straight from Reddit by a user of the name of Goldsby. He did a bunch of insane and amazing research about this, and he came up with a pretty good theory as to why Seattle is a very plausible location for The Last of Us Part 2. Now, you know how The Last of Us was in the first game. I highly doubt if this is true. This is the only location we'll be at. We'll probably be all over the country again, just like the first game, if I had to guess. So that's all I'm going to say at the beginning, so let's go ahead and just start jumping right into it. The first thing he really pointed out was objects that are all around the city of Seattle. Like the two main ones were like there's a parking sign and there's like these pay sites and stuff like that. And there was two of them in the one of the concept art images from The Last of Us Part 2. There was a parking sign and there was a pay meter, and both of those identical looking objects can be found all over Seattle and all over Washington. And like, I don't mean that like they look similar. I mean, they look like spot on. Every little detail was nailed by Naughty Dog as far as each object, and it's insane. So that's one thing, but that's just kind of one of the littler ones. Now I want to move on to the bigger one, which is it actually shows the actual intersection in the concept art. So if you look at the concept art, you can see like there's a car, there's some plants and foliage, and like you see a parking sign, but in the back, if you look, there's a brick building, and it looks kind of like it's like three-sided, if you know what I mean. Like it has one side, then it like almost like it's at a corner. And if you look on the building, it says Driftwood. Now, believe it or not, Driftwood is an actual building in Seattle. It's located on South Washington Street at the intersection of Washington Street and First Avenue South, and it's right spot on. I mean, all you got to do is go to Google Maps and look at the satellite image of it, and it looks just like it. I mean, it is spot on. It's not like it got inspired from it. It's like they literally went to Google Maps and seen it and just completely recreated it in the concept art. So now, why is this so interesting? Because if this is actually true, I mean, that can't be just a coincidence. How are they going to be completely basing their concept art off of an actual location in Seattle? I mean, the building and the concept art, I mean, they line up perfectly with each other. So if that's just the first thing, but if you also look, if you look in the concept art, there's a street sign that actually says Washington Street. And like I just said, this building is located at the intersection of South Washington Street and First Avenue South. So not only is the building identical, but that's in the actual concept art, it says Washington Street. Now that's insane, so that's pretty crazy. So if you go to the street view in the same and roughly the same location as where the concept art would have been drawn from, you can see not only is the Washington sign there, but it actually roughly lines up as to where it is in the actual real life photo. Now, if you go a little bit further down the street, sure enough, there is a parking sign that looks the exact same as the parking sign in the concept art. Once again, not similar. I mean, it is spot on. That's crazy. Now, something else that's pretty cool that Goldsby did was he actually did some research on the vegetation that was in the concept art for The Last of Us and in the trailer. And sure enough, he came back with something, and if you look throughout the trailer and through some of the concept art, you see a fern that keeps popping up that looks the exact same, and it is actually called the Sword Fern. You see it all over the place and all throughout the concept art, all throughout the trailer. Just like, that's one of the main like plants you see, and it's everywhere. So what's interesting about the Sword Fern is it's not everywhere. It's only located on the western coast of North America, and that includes Washington. So it's a very indigenous plant. It's only located in certain areas. Like like I read it, you can see it. It's been found other places such as South Dakota and even more southern tropical areas, but it's mostly all over the western coast of all of North America. Like it stretches down from, it can go from Alaska all the way down to like the southern part of California. So as of right now, we actually have a parking sign, a pay meter, an intersection that's actually located in Seattle in real life, as a building that's located in Seattle in real life, and we have a fern that is located all over the entire western coast, including Washington. And so we have a lot of good evidence here that can point The Last of Us Part 2 towards Seattle. Now, this is actually a little bit separate, but I wanted to bring something to you guys' attention that really caught my eye. when I first started reading about this whole fern thing being located on the western coast and started associating it with Seattle and this whole possibility, once I kind of wrapped my mind around all this possible location stuff, I thought in my head about Ellie's tattoo, because I remembered Ellie's tattoo in the trailer. There's like the main object on her tattoo is a fern, and I always knew it was a fern, but then it just hit me that it looks just like the Sword Fern. So this fern must have a very, very key role in The Last of Us Part 2 in some way. I don't know how or what exactly it could be. My only theory really it could be is that it could be a cure for her bite, because I did start reading into the fern a little bit, and I read that Native Americans used to use it to treat skin sores, soothe sore throats, and women chewed the leaves to hasten childbirth. So they had some medical uses for it, but the main one that caught my eye was the whole treating the skin sores thing. So that definitely caught my eye. So yeah, this is all a lot of cool information, and I'm very happy to finally get an idea of where The Last of Us Part 2 could go. I'm like 95% sure that Seattle is going to be a location at least at some point in The Last of Us Part 2 now. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Also, let me know what you guys think about the whole herb thing, and like why it might be such a big part and why she has it tattooed, and if you guys think it has any role in the game, and if so, what do you think it could be? Let me know in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it so much. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, please hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe for more of The Last of Us content, and I will see you guys in the next video.